Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing another top 5 video, much like my last one that I did of this recording, which is the top 5 questions for Peter Capaldi. It's another top 5 questions, this time obviously not for Peter Capaldi, but someone else. Top 5 questions for Stephen Moffat, who, if for those of you who don't know for some strange reason, he is the current writer for the show, the Doctor Who show, and that. So yeah, much like the last one as well, all 5 questions are just as important in my opinion, and I'd really love it if you guys and girls commented a response, or did a video response, or just comment your top 5 questions you would ask this person, as I do read the comments. So yeah, number 5, in at number 5 I've put when do you see yourself leaving? Because it was recently revealed that he was planning on leaving at the end of series 9, or like when he'd finished doing the Christmas special, even the Husbands of Riversong, and that's why that episode has Riversong in it, because he thought that was going to be the last time he would be able to write for her character, and I think hopefully that will be her last story. I think if she comes back, that will really tarnish and diminish that story. But I think after Series 10, I hope he leaves then. He did also go on to say that the reason why he signed on for Series 10 was because he would have left if he knew that the BBC had a replacement for him. But at that time they didn't, so that's why he didn't want to leave them. His words are, he didn't want to leave the show in the lurch anyway, and that. And so that's why he's staying on till Series 10. Now, I think he should leave after that, just because new blood, and we get a fresh perspective, and it sort of revitalises / reboots the franchise / the series more, and it hopefully reinvents the show and reinvests more people into it, because there might be a lot more interest in it, and especially if they market it right. My 4th question is, why do you think there should be a female Doctor? Now, a lot of people ask him, do you think the Doctor should be female? Or do you think the Doctor can be female or should be female? And I think that, as I've said maybe before to someone, I feel like I've said it probably to someone before, I feel like that personally is the wrong question. It should be, as I've said, why do you think we should have a female Doctor? Because he always answers in this annoying sort of convoluted way, in the sense that, instead of just saying yes, I do think we should have a female Doctor, he's always like really high and mighty and is all like, oh well, I made the Master in female, so what do you think my thoughts on that is, which is clearly just a long-winded and laborious way of just saying yes, I do think the Doctor can be female. But again, my question would be, why do you think the Doctor should be female? Which I would be scared to get the answer back, because I fear that he would just say, just because I can make her or him female, is why I would do it, and why I think he should change into a female. And it's a bit annoying in that sense, as I'm one of the people who don't like the idea of the Doctor being female, personally. I mean, all the more power to you if you do think the Doctor should be female. 3, how do you pick directors for Doctor Who, and also how do you pick sort of the directors, but how do you choose which one's best for what episode as well? I'm quite intrigued to know about that. Because how do you know that Rachel Talalay, I think it was, would be the best person for the last 2-parter in Series 9, Heaven Sent and Hellbent, and that, she is superb, she is a superb director, but, he could have easily said, actually, I think you should, direct these 2 episodes instead, and then got someone else to do it, and it could have been a completely different episode, visually, and that because of the way that it would have been shot and done and all that in that way. So, you know, I just wonder how he chooses his directors and how much time it takes and, you know, stuff like that. Number 2, the second question is, how do you come up with ideas for monsters? You know, because out of the two, Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies, I do think that's one of Moffat's stronger suits, coming up with really scary monsters. You know, you've got the Weeping Angels, you've got the Silence, and you've got the Whispermen. I think the Whispermen were criminally underused, unfortunately. And I would love to see them come back. Same with the Silence. I thought they were used well-ish, but I think they could easily come back and maybe be a bit different, maybe. The Weeping Angels are a bit overused now, and he has gone on record, Stephen Moffat has gone on record to say that, you know, that he's gone on record to say that the Weeping Angels, should they come back, that a new writer, or a different writer, will write for them, and that. But yeah, I'm just intrigued to find out how he comes up with these ideas for villains or monsters or whatever. And then number 1, how do you plan for an overall story arc? As I feel like there isn't a lot of planning involved when Stephen Moffat does that. Hence the reason why we get the series we do. And that's not a criticism on the quality of every episode. Like, Series 9... for episodes has been stellar, but for story arc it was weak as hell. You know, Series 6 story arc, piss poor. I hate that series arc, which is a shame because there are some really good episodes. You know, The Girl Who Waited, The God Complex, The Doctor's Wife. You know, 3 really good strong episodes there, but the overall story arc is just shoehorned in, and it just feels very complex, convoluted, and annoying, and it doesn't really add to the episodes. If anything, it just drags those episodes down more, and stuff, which is something that an overall story arc shouldn't do, really, in my opinion. But I do think his best sort of overall series arc is Series 5, as I think it was just the one that was the most sort of continuity, you know, and it wasn't too complex. It was literally just a visual aid of just seeing the crack in time, you know, every now and then. Like, it wasn't this prophecy, or it wasn't, you know, these other characters and the Flesh Avatar thing and God knows what else, and, you know, it wasn't, is the Doctor a good man, and then that never gets really played on until the end, and then we just find out that he's a madman with a box, even though we already knew that. You know, so I would really like to see what his, you know, answer would be to how do you plan out an overall story arc, because I feel like he doesn't plan them out, and that, even though personally I would, if I was in his position, and I would hope that he would as well, really, because I think if you plan something out, then hopefully it's gonna work. You know, I appreciate that as well. He might, you know, respond, you know, well, if you plan it out, you know, you might be really annoyed when things have to change and that, because you've just then sort of had to, you know, get rid of a really good idea for a lesser idea and stuff like that. I don't know, but I'd be interested to know what is, as I say, what is ideas are for planning out a story arc, because I do think a lot of his story arcs aren't too good. That's not me bashing his episodes. Some of his episodes are really, really good, but just story arc wise, stuff has been pretty piss poor since he took over. You know, like, what is the hybrid, and you know, the whole death of the Doctor thing in Series 6 and the Wedding of Riversong nonsense and all that. But yeah, this has been me over here at the Doctor's Assistant 1. Please do comment, rate and subscribe.